As a small biz pro, that's how we roll. Using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, that's how we grow. Using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah. Crystal Mitchell, do you have my business plan?
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And today, Crystal.
Well, first of all, we want to acknowledge that this is Women in Business
That's what
Month.
I'm talking about.
We're going to be honoring women for the whole entire month of March.
Happy Women's Month.
Happy Women in Business Month.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about, why was this developed? Why was this day? Because, every month there's something new, right?
Every month.
So this month is Women's Month. Last month is Black History Month. Next month is Small Business Month. Right? Black Business Month. And then I think October is November. So it's something every month.
We're going to make it the whole year. Okay?
Which is good because that gives those of us in with radio shows and blogs topics that we can talk about.
That's what I'm talking about.
That makes it easier to create the curriculum.
That's right.
or the program. So today we have two amazing women that are doing some amazing things out there. So
Can't wait to talk to them.
I know. So we're gonna talk with them. I have a couple of call-in. You remember Roz?
Yes.
From Roz Works?
Yes.
She's gonna Skype in because they've extended that incredible opportunity for women business owners. They're still casting for another 10 days. So she's reaching out again.
You know, it's so convenient because now we've got at least one of the women here today. She's got a storefront, then she qualifies.
Oh, okay.
Because she's been in business for a while, and she's got employees as well.
Well, then that'll be fantastic because they're still looking for women.
That's right.
I guess whatever that first round, I guess some of them must have fell out, and so she's back. So she's going to be Skyping in, and then I have
the audience who's listening and don't know what we're talking about. You want to give them a little overview of what that's all about?
Yes. So the program is actually, I think Laurent has a video and he can run it. Yeah, and then we'll talk about it.
All right.
It's from our last show with her.
Excellent.
And it's you telling them all about it.
That's right.
So we can let that happen.
I want to serve.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
We're at the top of the hour right now. We're having a great show. I'm really loving this show right here. Our special guest is Rosalind, and she has an amazing project here that I want all of you to take a look at. All of you women-owned businesses out there who are looking to go to the next level. This is what this is all about, the next level. And she is casting. She has a show. She's looking for women-owned businesses with a brick and mortar. That means you've got a facility out there, a storefront, that you can participate in this program. You've got at least 3 employees. Correct?
Yeah, they need to have 3 employees.
At least 3 employees. And you can be a part of this.
We want them to give us a call.
Is there a phone number that you have?
Yes, please.
You want to give them?
Yeah, 323-468-0700. Just ask for Roz. Say, where you heard about us. But more importantly, please call us and please share it. Share it with all of your friends. Share it on your Facebook, on your IG, on your, tweet about it. This is such an incredible opportunity for so many women.
Phenomenal.
And we have the most awesome, inspiring, successful leader on this project who her products are everywhere from Walmart to Target to CVS. She started in her garage. She's a global brand, and she is going to help other women do the exact same thing.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing for women-owned businesses. If you want to call in and speak with Rosalind, the phone number here is 323-293-3375. That's 323-293-3375. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break right now, but we can't wait to come back and hear more from Rosalind before we take our next.
So that's what we're talking about.
Okay. So audience, if you're listening, that's a scoop. That's an overview of what this program is all about. We're looking to do a reality show with small business women owners. So if you're one of those and you want to get casted in this movie,
It's actually a reality show.
A reality show.
It's like the Prophet, which is one of your favorite shows.
Yes.
And Ivana Van Zant, where she's actually helping you with your mindset to make change in your life. So they're coming. It's like those two shows coming together for the business owner to take them to the next level.
Yes.
And they're looking for the brick and mortar with employees, mainly because they're usually at a certain place in their business, right? But a lot of times, and you and I both know this, you could be making X amount of dollars but you don't know how to manipulate or to strategize to that next level. So if you're making $250,000 and you want to get up to $500,000 or $1 million, what are those strategies? What helps you get there? So that's the purpose of this show.
That's great.
And that's why they're looking for that very specific characteristic of that business owner.
Well, our next guest on the show will definitely qualify for that. And if it means we got to coach and prep her to get there, we will.
Yes.
Because I've known her for a while now. I know her background, her history, and she's definitely qualified to be on that.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. So Roz is going to Skype in with her. How energetic she is.
I know.
So she's going to Skype in very shortly to tell us about what they're still looking for.
Excellent.
Now, I think they are looking for some specifics. I think they've filled up pretty much what they want, but there are some specific type of businesses that they're looking for.
Okay.
And it has not been an easy thing. You think that would be an easy call, right? And from my conversations with Roz, it isn't, because in some cases, your business is on showcase, right?
And that's probably part of the problem. See, a lot of small businesses, the thing is, they don't want you to look inside of what's going on in their business.
Right. They don't want to, don't come to my house. I ain't cleaned it up yet.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're coming for dinner? We can have dinner on the patio. You have to come inside.
Right. Just come around the back side. We even have an outdoor bathroom.
Yes.
You don't ever have to come inside
don't
the
come
house.
inside.
Right? Don't come inside the house.
They don't want you to see what's going on inside their business. But this might be a good help for them, because it will help them to clear things up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So that will be what we'll have to work on. Is that me? That's not me, I don't think.
Sound like you?
No. It's not me. Oh, maybe it is me. What's happening here? Sorry about that.
We have an invasion here.
I mean, it went from recording to talking. Okay. Interesting.
So you had a very interesting week this week, huh, Crystal?
Oh, I've had a heck of a week. So let's see. What did we do? We had graduation because I just finished class last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week.
Last week Friday.
So then I've had appointments every day, all day long since Monday. And then we had graduation at Mount Sac. The young people, I'm so proud of them. I think 12 of them graduated.
Tell the audience a little bit about the program that you run over there.
So the program that I've been teaching at Mount Sac, or actually at the LACO, the Los Angeles County Office of Education, we're teaching recipients of that program how a skill set so that they can find better jobs. And so we have usually about 15 adults in the class, and the idea is to get them completely off of social services.
And
for
what
the rest
are
of
you
their
teaching
life.
them?
So I'm teaching them bookkeeping and QuickBooks. And so this group, it was an 8-week program. I squished in 30 years of information in 8 weeks, which is normally 12 weeks. They did a phenomenal job, but they were very talented. And they actually, before I even came on board, they actually were, this was a 6-month class, 6-month class. And it was administrative assistant, and then they brought in the QuickBooks as an extra caveat.
Yeah.
And I also taught them payroll. And so now they've finished that, and so now we're going to get them jobs.
Excellent. And as usual, Crystal, you did an excellent job. All of the county people, the Mount Sac people, they were all excited about the type of work you provide. So, I want to say more kudos to you. See, a lot of people don't know the type of services you provide, And every opportunity I get, I just want to, wake the town and tell the people. I want to tell everybody.
You want to be Paul Revere?
That's right. I want to tell everyone about what you're doing, what great work you're doing for women, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. I want to do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Well, that's all part of what that's the other part of my business.
Yes.
And actually, when I'm teaching, that's a very rewarding part of what I do.
Yeah.
Especially when the outcomes are as they've been with this particular program.
Mm-hmm.
This was our fourth cohort, and we have had a 95% higher rate.
Mm-hmm.
So very, 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 very pleased with that.
Yeah.
And our next class starts in April. And so we're going to be doing that in Pomona.
Good.
To those recipients out there. So it's really, really cool. And
Good.
then, then Recycling Black Dollars is my community work for helping African-American business owners and consumers in our community understand why it's so important for us to recycle our dollars in our community. So that's all just part of what I do.
And this strikes a very interesting balance too, because on one side, you being the leader of Recycling Black Dollars, you're trying to help the African American businesses, and I'm on the other side, I'm trying to help the Latino businesses as well as African American. So bringing that all together, we have a great resource here to help these small businesses.
I think so, and bringing us together because when you really look at it, if based upon what's going on in our community today or in our country today, it's like the black and the brown. And then they're the ones that are trying to minimize the black and the brown.
Right.
So, but if we actually came together, we'd be really 75% of the population, which is the problem, right?
That's really what I'm striving for, because the thing is, if we all come together, the different ethnicities, think about how strong and powerful we'll be. We'll be just like those kids in Florida. You see how they came together and, their voices got heard and people started listening to them. That's the same thing we got to do as small businesses. We got to come together, no matter what ethnicity we belong to, just make it happen.
We have to make it happen and be very deliberate. Those young people, what I admire about those young people are they're very, very deliberate. They're not fearful.
Right.
And they're fighting for a whole.
Right.
And they make a lot of sense. They actually make more sense than the adults.
Oh yeah,
do.
Oh yeah.
When they talked about guns in giving teachers the opportunity to have to carry guns in the classroom.
Right.
And today I was listening on CNN, and one of the commentators was saying, she goes, just imagine, let's be realistic. You take that to an inner city school, and there's many challenges in inner city schools, and the teacher has a gun, and they don't like one of the students, or they happen to be in the inner city urban area, and you got gangbangers and drug dealers and all kinds of stuff.
That's it.
And now they're going to have a shootout in the middle of the classroom?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And that's what would happen.
And the thing about that is, not only will they have a shootout, but let's say they shot at someone and they miss and it catches another kid. You see what I'm saying?
Right. You can't be wielding guns in no classroom. That makes no sense.
It's not a good idea. It's not a sound decision.
It's not a sound decision. It's a ridiculous decision.
Yeah.
And again, I've taught kids. I mean, that's the other part of what I do is I've got, now I'm teaching entrepreneurship for kids, but I've been involved with youth programs pretty much all my adult life.
Yeah.
And then a couple of years ago, I actually did an entrepreneur program at Dorsey, which is a local high school here. Well, a lot of those kids, if you're coming from Crenshaw and Dorsey, a lot of those kids are foster care children. And also parenting is not like it used to be.
Right.
So a lot of times these kids are raising themselves. So you got to figure out how to reach them on a level that they will receive the information that you're dispersing to them, right? And so and they can be quite challenging until you figure out what that form is. But you got to have the patience to do that. And so by being in those classrooms, I have actually seen the teachers not know how to relate to the kids, and they're with them every single day.
That's true.
And the kids, they're disruptive and they're speaking back because there's no boundary as to who's the adult and who's the kid. And so those are those very combustible environments that you can't have a teacher
No.
carrying a gun.
No.
You just can't, because kids gonna call them out of their name,
Yeah.
and that's it. What they gonna do? Go into their drawer and just start shooting? No.
Well,
that's
we
ridiculous.
all know that there's hot air right now they're breathing. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. We're not going to allow it to happen. People are not going to allow it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, in fact, they did make a comment this morning that that's just a distraction, another distraction.
Exactly. That's what it is.
And we're having the wrong conversations,
Yeah.
but that's for a purpose, because everything else is falling apart in the Washington, in the federal government.
Yeah.
Hope Hicks is gone, and his world is falling apart. So that's some of the stuff that's going on. I do want to do a shout out for my girlfriend. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Daisy. Have a fantastic day. And so that
is Daisy the person, the HR person?
Yeah, you know Daisy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Daisy, happy birthday.
Yeah, today's her birthday. My sister's birthday was last week. But
today's my mom's birthday.
Oh, well, my goodness. You didn't call her?
I just spoke to her right now and I forgot.
Uh-oh. Look at the ladies in the house and Mom. They're like, okay, he just blew it.
Mom, happy birthday, sweetie. I know you don't remember me.
Yeah, she remembers. You remember you forgot her birthday, man. You going to send some flowers or something?
Actually, I just sent her some money, so I'm sure she's going to be good.
Okay, well, she's fine with that then. But yeah, so today, so Daisy, your mom's birthday is the same day.
Today's my mom's birthday, and they're going to throw a little party for her tomorrow. So they wanted me to fly to New York to visit her, but...
when was the last time you were home?
Oh, man.
Good Lord. You need to go visit visit your mommy.
It's been bad. It's probably more than 4 or 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
It's awful.
You need
But I speak to her on the phone though.
That is not the same. Have you seen the commercial? Baby, why aren't you here?
I know.
Yeah, you have to call your mommy. That's important. You have to go visit.
Yeah, I got to go visit.
Yeah, you can fly over for a weekend. That'll work.
Yeah, it's part of my plan. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go visit her.
All righty then. So, yeah, now that you didn't forgot her birthday.
See, the thing is, I try to make fun of this, but it's serious, but I make fun of it. See, my mom, she has a loss of memory, like a temporary loss of memory.
Okay.
So sometimes when I call it, she doesn't even know who I am.
Yeah, because you ain't been there.
No, she really doesn't know who I am. So I'll tell her, I'll say, hey, it's your boyfriend. She said, which one?
Okay.
I said, remember the one you used to go dancing with? I don't remember you.
Well, then that's all the more reason you need to go visit your mommy.
I know.
Yeah,
so
you need to make a vacation and just go.
I got to make it a point of my duty.
You do.
So we want to tell the audience about our program that we have, that mastermind program. Do you want to tell them a little bit about it, Crystal?
So that we didn't do that last week. I think we did that the week before.
Yeah.
And we're getting ready to start our next cohort, I guess. And we're doing a mastermind group where we're teaching, helping small business owners become minority certified so they can do business with the supplier diversity, state,
federal,
the city, the county,
the Edisons, the gas companies, all of those folks.
Right. So they'll no longer be doing transactional business. They will be doing contract business. Yeah. So, and that will change the status of our cities and our financial wellness, I guess, is a good thing, because now you're not just you'll have a better idea and you can project better how much money your business can make, and which will at the same time help you project when it's time to hire, what type of programs you need to be, new projects that you can bring on. And I think the best part of it is being able to bring on subcontractors, so you have some backup in your business, so that you're not the one doing the business all the time. You can go out and develop new businesses as well.
And one of the things that you and I will be teaching these entrepreneurs, Crystal, is how to set up their business the right way, how to build their infrastructure, how to handle their cash flow management. So we'll go over the financial statements, a balance sheet, a profit and loss statement of cash flow, and also their ratios, to make sure that they understand their ratios. Because that's one of the biggest challenges when a small business go to a bank trying to look for a loan or a line of credit, and the bank asks them certain questions, they really don't know how to respond.
No.
Because they're not familiar with those things. So we're trying to teach them those terminologies. When they talk about quick ratios, you know what the quick ratio is.
Right.
They ask you about cash ratio, you know what that is. You talk about all those things, the current ratio and all of those different types of things, you understand how it's calculated. So that's what we're going to do. And we also have so we're gonna do the cash flow. We're gonna do the infrastructure. This time around, we're also gonna do business model. We're gonna teach these small businesses how to set up their business model, because many businesses, they hear about business model and they really don't understand it.
No.
There are 9 areas to the business model, so we're going to go over each one of those 9 areas and show them how to set it up. You know, their value proposition, their customer segment, partnership, strategic partnering, cost, and all of those things. So we're going to go over that with them.
So which is good. So you are creating all the components that bring create a successful business,
Yes.
a business with longevity, legacy. Because a lot of times, from what I found from being a consultant, is we kind of fall into business, and but you don't necessarily know how to take that business from when you first opened the doors and you just had a product or a service that you were concentrating on, and then creating a real business out of all of that, because most people are just selling a product or a service.
That's true,
but not a full business.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to do with it.
And the thing about that, you mentioned something that's good there, Crystal. You said fall into business. So some people may have gotten fired or laid off from a job. Now they have no other sources of generating revenues, so they think, oh, why don't I start a business? So then they fell into that. Now they have no proper training, perhaps, or they're not ready for it. So they just go operate by the seat of their pants. So what we're trying to do is we want to encourage that approach, because not all of us were cut out to work for somebody.
Right.
You know, some of us are entrepreneurs. We've got it in our blood.
Right.
So what we want to do is to coach those individuals and train them how to understand business, the business concept from start to finish, and take it to where they need to be so they can be successful.
Exactly. Because again, that happens all the time.
Right.
That women, and then when you get into a situation, the business becomes challenging, because when you started your business, you know you're going to work hard at it, right? But then you start to flow and money starts to flow, but then some outside entity changes, either it's financial or environmental or just something unique happens.
Or regulatory concerns.
Right. Something will change. And a lot of our businesses don't know, what do we do now? Because you start seeing, and here's you start seeing a major change. And here's a case in point. I was having a conversation with someone that was wanting to go into the cannabis industry here in the state of California, which has been approved. So they were saying that, well, this is a lot harder than I thought, because the hype has been you're going to make all this money, and then I come with the voice of reason and I go, okay, let's really look at that business and the retail business. Here's how this is really going to work from a tax standpoint. Because remember, the only reason that they're doing it is so because the county and the state can collect taxes.
Exactly.
So they're not going to deviate from that.
No.
So you need to know how to work around that. So when I really give them the nuts and bolts of what that's going to look like, you're not going to be able to write off your cost of goods. You're not going to be able to write off your expenses if you have a retail business. So you're really looking at a profit margin about 1%.
Wow.
So what that's a lot of money to go into. So when I was talking to this person, and they were saying, I said, so the ones that have been in business, they got big cash where they don't really have to, they have to fine tune some stuff, but they already have, they may have to find new locations because where they are doesn't work, but they can move into a new location. Yeah. I said, but however, the person that was saying it to me, she was saying, but, I don't know if they have as much money as they had when they first started. what no business does. When they first started, they had a monopoly in an area.
Exactly.
And then as it kept growing, more and more people, the competition started to come into play in your same neighborhood. It could be 9 of them in one block.
Yeah.
So now the people have choice. It's called supply and demand,
Exactly.
right? So she says, yeah, but you can't make any money. I said, well, that would be the same case with McDonald's and Jack in the Box and Denny's.
Burger
if they're
King.
on all 4 corners, they're all selling the same thing, a burger and some fries.
Yeah.
So what are they doing to draw the people to
differently?
them?
What differentiates them?
And she goes, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Well, that's business.
Yeah.
So don't be concerned about the competition. You got to be concerned about how you're
your
running
strategy,
the business.
your value
strategy,
proposition, and your differentiators. And see, sometimes it takes a conversation for entrepreneurs to realize certain things. Because many times they're not seeing it. They're looking beyond it, but they're not seeing it.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention as to how people fall into business. Another group, well, 2 groups. 2 other groups that actually fall into business are women.
Yeah.
Well, 3. Women, minorities, and immigrants.
Well, because those businesses are based on necessity.
Well, not only that, they don't get opportunities elsewhere, so they have to create opportunities.
They have to create their own opportunities.
So that's how they fall into it, because they can't get hired. No one wants to hire them, so they're going, hey, I got a family I got to take care of, so how do I feed my family? Well, create my own source of revenue.
Right, and a lot of women, especially when they start having children, unless they've chosen the path and the career path to work in a corporation, and they have they know how they're going to get up to the top, wherever that top is. But when they have children, then that kind of changes how they do business, because they need to be. And I tell my students this, especially where they are. If you have children at home and you're looking for a new career, you want to make sure the company you're going to is family friendly, because there are things that are going to happen. Your child has to go to the doctor, and the husband or whomever, you can't find someone to take you.
Right.
So they have to understand the flexibility of that. So you have to make sure when you're interviewing your business, the companies you want to work at, that they either have child care on premise, is not too far from where your child goes to school. They're okay with flexible hours. Get the work done in whatever time frame it takes you to do it.
You can work from home.
You can work from home.
Yeah.
I said that's important when you have small children, because it's important as a mom that you're not there during the formative years. I remember my sister is a real estate agent, a mortgage broker at that time, when her little ones were little. Well, she was gone from sun up to sundown, about. So my brother-in-law, who had a regular 5 to 6 o'clock, where he was home, I think he starts at 8. He was home by 6. So he fed the kids, he bathed the kids. And so she saw them on the weekend. Wow. And then about the time, this is when they were infants, and then about the time they went to school, she decided, I'm going to be she became her own broker and start working from home.
Wow.
So she was with her kids all the way up until they went to college.
That's amazing.
And all of us have been in their lives, because most of us are all entrepreneurs. Right. So when she was telling the boys that she was going to go work in the office, now they're grown men. They're like, what do you mean? You're not going to be here when we come home from college? So that's important. So, and those are the things that you have to think about. So a lot of times that's what is the driving force for women to go into business for themselves, is because they need to be able to be on hand for their children.
And I'm sure as we speak about this right now, Crystal, there's somebody out there, one of our listeners right now, who can resonate with what we're talking about.
Sure.
So it's kind of good sometimes for us to have some conversations on certain topics, just to reiterate certain things. I know we're at the bottom of the hour right now, so we're going to have to go ahead and take a quick break.
And then I'll find out where our Skype person is.
Right.
I think she just called me.
Okay.
And then we can move on with that.
And when we come back on the other side of the break, I'd like us to talk about our sponsors as well as our next guest.
All righty.
So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready.
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And Crystal, who do we have in the studios
Well,
today?
we actually have a special guest that's calling in. Even though we're celebrating women this month, I do have a special guest that I met. You know, when I go to the Fraser Network, the Power Network conference?
Yeah.
So I met this wonderful, very innovative young man. His name is Brother Bedford. And so he specializes in speaking and training entrepreneurs and business owners about turning their knowledge, experience, expertise, and passions into cash using the internet, mobile, and social media marketing. Each presentation is entertaining and dynamic, and he's written books on it. So he has a thing where he is like the #1 internet marketing coach and consultant,
Really?
and he will teach you how to make money in your sleep.
Well, guess what? I'm ready to make some money while I'm sleeping. So let's talk to this
So
person.
let's talk to Brother Bedford.
Brother Bedford, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, Brother Bedford. Welcome to the Business Zone.
And welcome to Los Angeles. I'm so happy to see you. I will be seeing you tomorrow at Margot Lovett's event. But you are very special to me. And now I want to introduce you to my co-host, Gilbert Buchanan. And one of the things he's impressed with is that you can make money in your sleep.
That's what I'm talking about. So show me the money.
All right. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on. And of course, I could not come to your beautiful city without touching bases with you, Crystal. You know, I admire you so much. So thank you for that. And I apologize to you and your audience for bringing this rain with me from Detroit.
Yeah, dude.
You know, that's going to cost you. It's going to be a tariff on that. So.
Well, I owe you one, Gilbert. I apologize. I owe you one.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, out here, unlike back east, we don't know what to do with weather. We only know what to do with sun. We're totally at a loss when we have any kind of weather.
Yes, so was I. I mean, I thought I was coming here to enjoy some sun, and I got here and I was shocked. I said, this is almost worse than Detroit. So this was different.
Couldn't put your bathing suit on, huh?
Absolutely.
So do you have a formula as to how we can do this money-making thing, or how does it work?
Oh, wow. How we do this money thing.
That's right, baby.
Well, you know, first let me just say again, I'm honored to be here, and I heard Crystal mention some of the things that I do, and one of the reasons I'm in town is because I've actually I help people to take their knowledge, their experience, and their expertise, or their passions, and turn them into income-generating products and platforms. And so, as Crystal mentioned, I'm actually here because we're celebrating a book signing tomorrow.
Excellent.
Of I guess, one of my clients who resides in this area and has been doing some phenomenal things within a year with writing her book and creating her podcast and becoming a bestseller. And now we're working on her flagship product. This is Margot Lovett that I'm speaking of. And so I'm extremely excited to be here to watch her.
Okay.
So it's not only something that I do myself, but to watch her now do this for herself. And I'm extremely proud about that.
Oh, and she has come. You know Margot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been on the show. And Margot, and you know, Margot was in a class of mine, Brother Bedford, probably about 3-4 years ago, and she was writing her business plan. She hadn't even left her corporate job as of yet, and so it was still. And she had told me she had this love for the radio and wanted to have a radio show and so forth. But it was all still a image in her head. And I had them do a business. I had them do a vision board and put that on paper, and then she developed a business plan. But it was still like 2 years later. And then when she came and you came out here and she met you, she just took that and went with it. So I am so proud of where she is right now. In just 1 year, she has just completely changed her whole mindset about her business.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lesson in that for your listening audience, too. It's something how you planted the seed and you helped her, how all of us play a part in certain individuals' lives. We never know where they're going to make that decision or make that transition, but we all play a role, and then when it finally, the light comes on, it's something to look back and see how you helped her to shape this vision, and then I just help her to bring it into fruition a couple years later. So, again, we're still a team, right?
We're a team, and it takes a whole team. And mentorship is very, very important, because a lot of times mentorship, people, and consultants and coaches, you question whether or not it's advantageous for you to spend the money to hire a coach. But one of the things you do is you become their fan club and their rah-rah club, right? And you help push them out of that inertia in order to create their dream and move them forward. So when people say, I don't know if it's worth it, it really truly is. To have that your own coach standing behind you, pushing you to the finish line.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can't do this thing without a mentor, a coach, or people that you begin to pull into your sphere to be on your team. Because business itself, it's a team sport.
Right.
And the reason that many struggle and are frustrated and go year after year without achieving the results that they desire. They have the idea, they have the talent, they have the skills, they have the ambition, but one of the things that they're missing is putting together the team, bringing in mentors or strategists, people who can help them, and they're always looking at the cost. And that's the wrong way to look at it. It's not an expense when you bring someone in to help you make more money. You should learn to look at that as an investment, because the right coach, the right team members, the right mentor will propel your business to levels that you never thought possible. And so many are holding themselves hostage because they're thinking that they can do this thing by themselves. And there's just a limit to what you can do in the world of business. Even just that language, when you understand that this is a world of business with many moving parts. And if you don't get someone to help you to plug into all of these different moving parts, you're going to be stagnant, you're going to be frustrated, and you will make the assumption that this doesn't work or it's not for you. So that's great advice, Chris, and I would hope that they grasp hold to what you just said, the need to get someone to help you do this.
Exactly. And a lot of times you yourself will talk yourself out of opportunities and blessings that is there for you, because you don't have anyone to say, no, well, let's look at all sides of it. Really, let's identify what the positives are, what the possible challenges may be. Not to say that, no, I can't do this. It's a possible challenge, but that challenge can be turned into something positive. But sometimes you need people to help you, or a coach or someone to help guide you over to that process to work through it and then come out on the other side. So there's a lady, we have another guest in the house today, and she's a business and life coach as well. And those of us that do this, God has given us this skill to encourage and inspire other people. I think we are all blessings to the business world. And if we can just turn all our people into these little amazing money-generating, economy, community-building people, we'd be doing some good stuff, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. And one other thing I would just like to add with the coach, because it goes a little bit further than just inspiring and motivating. When someone comes to you, Crystal, they don't realize that you're bringing to the table 25, 30 years of experience.
Right.
So you're really, when you're interacting with someone like yourself and bringing you on board to help them with their business and their vision, you're literally shortcutting the learning curve and the business life experience that one needs, because you can't do this thing without some form of business experience. And when someone brings you into the fold, Chris, you're bringing 20, 25, 30 years of not just your own personal experience, the experience that you've had with other businesses, the experiences you've had interacting with people like George Frazier and the conference. And so that's what we bring to the table. And so people have to really begin to look deeper than just someone coming on board to motivate you and inspire you. You're literally getting probably 100 years of accumulated knowledge of business wisdom and experience.
And your connection. You know, George Fraser talks about that. When you get him, well, you get him and a whole bunch of people.
Oh my, yeah, absolutely. A tremendous Rolodex.
So, Brother Bedford, since we only have 20 seconds left, I want to tell you what impact you just created on me, okay? So, I'm listening to what you just said right now, and immediately I start thinking in my mind, when I generate my next proposal, instead of putting a cost factor in there, I will just put investment or compensation.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So you change at least one mind or way of thinking here today.
Oh, well, that's a blessing to hear, because that is the best perspective to have. When you show people how you add value and how you increase what it is that they are investing in, it's a no-brainer. When it's a cost, that's fear. But when you reverse the risk and show them that it is an investment and there's a return on the other end, you will close more deals.
Definitely. So we want to thank you so much for calling in and also for sharing your expertise. We'd love to have you in the studio sometime so we can spend some more time with you. But today we just got a brief call, so thank you so much. Do you have a phone number that you want to leave us with so the audience can tap into it?
Well, I would say the best thing that people can do is just go to brobedford.com if they want to get more information about me. That's BROBEDFORD.com.
Thank you so much.
And I will see you tomorrow at Margot's book signing and book reading, and I'm looking forward to meeting you. And then I'll see you in July at the Power Network Conference.
Absolutely. Look forward to it, Crystal.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks for being on the Business Zone.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, Crystal, our next guest in the studio, who do we have?
So we have Miss Veronica Corona, and she is the owner. She's many things, actually. She's an entrepreneur.
She's a superwoman. That's what she is.
She's a community leader. She's an author, and she is the owner of CM Cleaning Solutions. And so we are so happy to have her. What else? Let me read some more stuff about her. She is fluent, obviously multicultural, bilingual. She business development and relationships. She has leadership skills and management skills, and a community leader. And that's very near and dear to me, because that's very important. I think besides just being an entrepreneur, is lending your talents and your skills to make a better community is really something to leave. When you leave your legacy, that's what you're going to leave.
And I think the title that she has that is most important to her is she's a proud Latina.
Well, that's wonderful.
So welcome to the Business Zone, Veronica.
Thank you, Gilbert and Crystal. I'm very excited to be here today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So tell us, other than these words on the paper, tell us a little bit more. First of all, when did you start your business, CM?
CM Cleaning Solutions started exactly 8 years ago this month.
Oh,
8 years ago this month. But we started our first building 8 years ago in November, this past November. 8 years ago this past November.
Okay.
So my business partner and I worked at that building. We started cleaning it ourselves with the crew that we hired.
I've met you before.
Yes, we have. Yes.
Downtown.
Yes.
With some children, right?
Yes, I believe so.
We were sitting on a panel together.
Yes, we were.
Okay.
At the City Club.
The City Club, right. And it was an entrepreneurial program in the summertime.
Yes.
And I remember when you said that, I was thinking, wait a minute, I've had this conversation with her.
Yes.
Well, it's good to see you again.
You.
Small world, huh?
Veronica is a past president of the National Latina Business Women Association of Los Angeles, and she's done some phenomenal work there. I don't remember how long I've met you, Veronica. Probably 6-7 years ago. I don't remember, but
approximately, I met you 6-7 years ago. You were doing a class for LBA.
Yes.
And that's where I first met you.
Yes.
And that's when we looked into you to come and do our Business Management Academy. It's been around 8 years because I was one of the first students of that academy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
The first academy, yes.
And Veronica said, you got to come to our academy and we want to hear from you. So I went there and I taught a capability statement class.
Yes.
And it was just to go from that point.
And now he teaches the entire 8 weeks, 6-week session. Yes.
So I have a question. And this month we're celebrating women in business,
Yes.
and it's very important. In fact, I think I read something this morning that there are over 10 million women that are in business.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's pretty awesome. And right now with everything that's going on in the government and in private industry, and women are really making some major strides in equality and being paid the same as a man, being respected as a woman, and not just as a woman but as a person. When it comes to business. So what was the driving force behind your starting your own business?
Wow. There was a few driving forces. One of them is my business partner. I do have a business partner.
Okay.
And he was more the entrepreneur versus me. I was like, no, I want my steady job with my secure check and, my paid vacation and 6 figures. I always say I went from 6 figures to no figures to not knowing when I'm going to get paid.
There you go. That's an entrepreneur for you.
Yes. And then ideally, the customer, they gave us our first building because she said to me, these words changed my life. She said she was awarding us a contract, and I'm explaining to her that I had just resigned from a job, from the other business that was a cleaning company as well. And she said, the only reason I'm giving you this building is because of you. I don't even like your boss. And when she said that, I sat there like, oh. And, my business partner had already, before we were in business partners, he was telling me, you should tell her to give you the building. We'll clean it. We'll take care of it. I'm like, oh, no. I'm done with cleaning. I had just resigned. So I'm not done with cleaning. Well, I wasn't so done because then we started the building in November of 2009. And we worked till like 3 o'clock in the morning cleaning the building. Oh, wow. And I'll say, I'll do everything except toilets. But I'll take out trash. I'll vacuum. and so that was my first experience really working. I vacuum at home, but that's different.
I'm right.
Or clean at home, but it's different. And it was that customer that gave me the opportunity. And then, I don't know, it just like automatically it just started happening. And we started growing before I had even thought I wanted to be in business. So it was a blessing.
See,
very grateful.
that goes to our testimony here on the show that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust.
Definitely.
And that's exactly what happened. They liked you. And that's why they decided to give you that opportunity.
Yes.
Another thing I want to throw out there, because you haven't said it yet. Another thing I want to throw out there, her motto for her business is, we keep it clean while you sleep.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, because everybody leaves, and then you guys
I thought that was so phenomenal.
The magic crew comes in afterwards.
Yeah, the fairies, right?
The fairies, the fairies.
Keeping it clean while you sleep.
How many employees do you have?
Oh, we're nearing 50 employees.
Wow. Fantastic.
Think about that. That's a major milestone. A small business, a minority-owned business, a Latina-owned business, in business for 8 years, and she has 50 employees. That's like unheard of.
It's a lot of work.
So what are some of the challenges as a female in this industry? Because there's a lot and a lot of more. It's more men in this industry than women own businesses.
Definitely, it's a male-dominated industry. I've been in the industry now for 17 years. I couldn't believe that. 17 years already. Very male-dominated industry. And I feel that really because I do have a male business partner, it's we complement each other and we've been able to balance it. So he handles the male role. And I still have some customers that, there's some men that we deal and they'd rather deal with my business partner. And I'm okay with that. It's okay.
As long as there's revenues coming into the business.
And as long as they're happy with their service.
But that's interesting that you said that, because there are a lot of women who haven't quite figured, they get insulted the fact that, you run across a person that you want to do business and they don't necessarily want to do business with you, primarily because you're a woman. Right.
Exactly. For those who are not watching, I just kind of shaved off my shoulder. The truth is, it used to bother me at the beginning, but because I've been in the industry for so long that I've gotten used to it. I was like, okay, we'll send somebody else to deal with it. It's okay. I'm not going to worry about that, because as long as they're happy and they're happy with their service and our employees are being taken care of and our employees are not being mistreated, that's all that matters.
Okay. And that's important. That's an important lesson as a woman-owned business.
Yes.
Sometimes some of those, you have to know which battles to fight, right? Yes. And that is going to be there, because a lot of times it is a male-dominated world, and that's some of the fight out there for women is, being respected for having the same knowledge and skill sets, but also understanding, utilizing whatever tools that you have to make whatever the deal happen. That's what you have to do.
And the truth is, I've never felt disrespected. All my customers always respect me, but a lot of the times, like, oh, can I speak to Mauricio on this? I'm like, sure, no big deal.
Okay.
It's like, but they've never been disrespectful. I just know they rather deal with him.
Right,
So,
right.
It's okay.
That's
I avoid
good.
any problems later.
That's very good. That's very good. And also, Veronica is her and I, we serve on the same organization, the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. So I'm the procurement chair for training and development, procurement for small businesses, for Latino-owned businesses. And Veronica is a board member of that organization.
I am. I'm the Southern Region Chair for the California Hispanic Chamber for Commerce. I'm on my second year serving for this second year serving for the organization.
Right. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Oh, you know what? It's been a really great experience because California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is not just local, it's throughout the state of California.
Exactly.
So I've met a lot of business owners throughout the state of California, and that alone is an experience.
Yes.
Even our board meetings are in different parts of California. We do
Yes.
Northern Region, Central Region,
Southern,
Inland Empire.
Yeah.
So we've connected with several organizations.
Right.
And if I may, I'm very excited that this year our annual convention is going to take place here in our own
I
backyard.
know.
In Los
I can't
Angeles.
wait.
Wonderful.
I can't
Los
wait.
Angeles. And so one of the things for me, and I happen to be the chairwoman for the convention.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like if I didn't have enough work already. But I'm excited about that. We really going to want to impact our community. And part of my goal is to make it diverse. We are Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but we all have to do business with each other.
That's right.
And I'm working on, hopefully I can have a panel that's of a diverse women
That's
of
great.
color,
That's
even
great.
though it's Latina Empresaria Day.
Yeah.
I feel that's really important because as women, we all have to support each other regardless of color or race or anything.
Yes,
we
yes.
need to support each other.
And I think that's where we are. That's the movement right now. The sisterhood movement, so to speak, is us all. Again, under the skin, we're all the same anyway.
Yes.
And but as women, there's a women's group that I belong to called the Bella Network. And one of the reasons it was created was that we as women are creating our own tribes to support us in business, to support whatever efforts we're doing, wherever our careers are going. We have a tribe of women that are uplifting us, and we're not infighting because of whatever, right? Because it's not necessary, right? We all have the same goals. We have the same drives, the same passions. Those that are mothers, you have certain similarities there on raising your children, and having our tribe is really important to us today.
And I like that. I think we all need to support each other, even as men and women. We
Right.
need to support each other. I have a male business partner. I want him to also feel supported by the surroundings, by being involved in the community.
Right.
And I really believe, a lot of people ask me, oh, how do you feel about the competition? I was like, what competition? There is no competition
Right.
because Gilbert said it earlier, and I said it, when I told you my first customer, I'm doing business with you because of you.
Right.
So people do business with you because of you,
Yeah.
not because I'm the best cleaning company. Because
Right.
I could tell you there's a lot of,
Right, exactly.
bigger companies, smaller companies than myself here and throughout LA, but I have good relationships with my customers,
Yes.
and I continue to nourish those relationships because that's the key.
Yeah, and that's what we should talk about, because when you own a business, it's really that customer service
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
keeping the contracts,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It's not long as the job and the results are immaculate cleaning,
Yeah.
but still, like you said, there are a lot of companies out there can do immaculate
And
cleaning.
somebody will come in for lesser price all the time.
All
So
the
That's
time.
why it's important to have that relationship. And I always tell my business partner, because he's more operational, I'm more customer service and sales, and I say, once we have the building, I'm not done. We still have to take care of the customer because retention is harder than getting the building.
Oh, it really is.
Even though it's a waiting period, if we have buildings that we've acquired for cleaning contracts, and it takes a year, 2 years. That I was like, I gave this proposal 2 years ago. I forgot about it, kind
Right,
of thing.
exactly.
And here we are cleaning it today. And so once you have it, that's the key. It's retention.
It's amazing. I can attest to everything that she's saying right now, because we've been in meetings before. Veronica and I were meeting, or we're talking about her business. We're talking about growing the business to the next level. And then the customer calls. And once the customer, it's my customer, I gotta go. So I said, go ahead, take care of business. So that is true. The customer is really first for her. She really takes care of that. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
Kudos.
And they're right aligned with our employees, because
Yes.
the truth is our employees are the backbone of the operation, and without them, I don't have a business.
That's
I have
true.
employees working right now while I'm sitting here
Yeah.
interviewing with both of you.
Right.
So they're our backbone. So we want to kind of align that the customers and the employees come first.
Yes.
They're kind of both right up there.
Right.
And I had my mentor, my ex-boss, who once told me, we are not in the cleaning business. We're in the people business. And if the employees are happy, it's a trigger effect.
Yeah.
Everybody will be happy.
Yeah.
And I always say, what is the one service that goes completely unnoticed until it's not done?
The cleaning.
There you
Exactly,
go.
exactly. Because we never hear if we, if all the if over 100
Yeah.
trash cans got taken out, but
Right.
if we missed one,
You'll hear about that.
and that's okay. That's just part of it. So we always, my business partner Mauricio and I always try to acknowledge our employees and thank them for all their hard work, because the truth is, and sometimes I said, "Oh, look, sorry, thank you for your job, but can you take care of this because we had a complaint today?" Right? Because we never we forget to acknowledge them sometimes
right.
too, because it's like, "Oh, everything's okay. I don't need to talk to the employees this day."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's true.
We have someone that's viewing us on the Facebook Live, Tim Williams. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
He wants to know what is the Hispanic Chamber's contact number.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to get. I have it. I believe I do have it.
Yeah.
And if not, you can look at us at chcc.com.
Okay, so
Right.
it's chcc.com.
But I do have a number to their office,
Right.
so I'd be happy to.
Okay, so
I can whip it out real quickly.
So we'll get that to you in a minute, Timothy. So let me ask this question, and it's interesting you said that, because this class that I mentioned earlier, which is an 8-week program, and in addition to teaching them bookkeeping and accounting, or bookkeeping and QuickBooks, one of the things I spend time on is on, like I said earlier, choosing that right company that takes care of their employees, and you're just not someone there that they have to pay a check to, because some companies feel that way, that it's like a check, it's like a burden to have employees because payroll comes up, right? But having a company that cares about you as a person and that they treat you like associates, because really we can't run businesses without our employees, right?
Oh,
because we'd be doing everything.
I'd be cleaning toilets.
Exactly. So they are very valuable to the company.
Yes, they
and
are.
the growth of the company. As long as they're well trained, then it benefits you, it benefits them, and they're not frustrated with that process, right?
It is true. We take, we take training very, priority, not just training how to clean, but training for safety, because there's a lot of things that go on in the building. There's a lot of things that happen at night that most people will not experience, and we have to be careful with a lot of things that most people won't even think about. Something as simple as, I always tell employees, never push the trash down with your hands, ever, because you don't know what's in there. You don't know if somebody threw in a syringe. We have a lot of people who are diabetic, and
broken glass,
anything.
Yeah.
So that's something as simple as that.
Right.
And I get on them. Like, I watched one of our date persons do that one time. I'm like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?" And she's like, "Oh, I never thought about that." I said, "Haven't we told you?" "Yeah, but when we're in a hurry, so we have to remind them." So that's
that could be a workers' comp case as well.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So it's really taking care of the employees.
And they're working in buildings at night.
Yes, they are.
And so being aware of your surroundings and all the things of that nature.
Definitely. And we tell them, I don't want to see earphones on, because if there's an emergency, I always think of a scene of a movie, which I can't think of it right now, but it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's a helicopter, and it's hitting the building, and it crashes. Crashes in the building, and the glass breaks, and the janitor's there like dancing, and he doesn't even know what's going on. And I always tell him about that scene when I do training. I said, so I never want to hear, I want to know that you guys are with earphones, because if there's an emergency in the building and some alarm goes off, you need to know that something's happening. You need to get out. I don't care, you get out, whatever.
Right.
And we all have, like, part of our training, in every building they have a meeting point. So if there's an emergency, they're supposed to exit the building, and all of them are supposed to meet in one location.
Excellent.
Okay.
That way they know they're all safe, and if something happens, at least they know, well, this co-worker didn't come out. So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
I do have that number for Tim if he wants it. So, Tim, the phone number for the California Hispanic Chambers of Commerce is 916-444-2221. That's 916-444-2221. So you could go ahead, give them a call if you want to get involved, you want to join, you want to become a part of that. And just so you know real quickly, what we do is we have training every month for different chambers, Latino chambers for the California Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So we provide training and capability statement and other procurement training. So, Tim, that will be a good one for you to do.
All right, Tim. So I hope that's been helpful for you. So, Veronica, tell me, what is the most rewarding thing about being in business?
Most rewarding thing about being in business, I have to say, besides the relationships I have with my customers, is being able to give back to the community.
Okay.
That's the most, having that time, having that, flexibility, even though sometimes I feel like this is another job, but I enjoy that. I enjoy helping others. I want to see other people succeed and grow because, like I said, there is no competition. There's room for everybody. LA is big enough for everybody.
Yeah.
It exactly is. And as a community leader as well, one of the things that Recycling Black Dollars, one of our mission is to encourage and support and help our our individuals become business owners. Is that somewhat the same mission for the Hispanic chambers as well? Is because I know as being a community leader, a lot of what stops us from moving forward economically is our fears.
Yes, definitely.
Right, you guys. So I assume you would be encountering the same pushback that we get when I'm out there doing what I do in my community.
Definitely, because I'm like, I don't want to be too involved in my community and not take care of my business.
Right,
and then, taking care of the business and then forgetting about what I'm doing over here. But most importantly, I feel it's important to create a balance because one of the things that I felt at the beginning of the business, I kind of threw myself at the business because it was growing. We didn't have money at the time. It's like I said, I didn't know when I was going to get paid. Yeah. But I always feel too is that never sacrifice your time with your family because I know that I sacrificed that. I don't have any children. Yeah. But I do have now 2 nephews and 5 nieces. Okay. And they range from, 6 months to 11 years old. And I know that I do not want to sacrifice any more time not spending time with them.
Right.
Because I feel that's a priority and that's important. Yeah. I want to be a role model for them, but I also want to be able to I want them to know who their Tia Vero is.
Oh.
I've been guilty of that.
Yeah. I heard that, Gilbert. Your mom.
I spend a lot of time at nights working on my client stuff and I ignore other stuff, and that's not good.
I just saw my mom 2 weeks ago, and then I talked to her yesterday. It's like, oh, when are you going to come visit again? Just saying, Gilbert.
Yep, I hear you.
Just saying, Gilbert.
I'm taking your advice.
New York.
New York. That's not even that far, huh? Yeah. No, I've always, my family is very important to me, but I also encourage my nephews. I have 2 nephews and a niece. And actually, recently I had my DNA done, and I didn't know my biological father. And so a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, someone reached out to me on Ancestry to say, I think you're my aunt. Which I am. And we didn't know. I mean, he didn't know. I knew the backstory, but he didn't know. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cool? So, which is why I did the whole DNA thing.
It could be a not, but you may open a Pandora box.
Right, exactly. You don't know yet. We're going to find out where it is. Yeah. But my nephews, that's what I'm talking to them about. And my niece, she's already an entrepreneur. She's a makeup artist and does the eyebrow threading. And so she's been working on and helping her to planting the seed about having her own business, but she still kind of operates like that, a makeup artist is. But my nephews, one is in sports management. He's finishing up his master's program.
Nice.
And then the youngest one is going into film. And so I told him, we want to help you guys understand why it's so important to be in business for yourself. Yes. And it gives you so much more gratification because you're the controller of how much money you make.
Yes, we are.
Right? And you can control your destiny based upon that.
And I want to add to that, you said you are in control of the money you make. I'll tell you, it's not always about the money. Because when I was earning 6 figures, I was working all the time. And I didn't have time for anything else.
Right.
And sometimes I think, how much was I really earning an hour when I think of the hours I was working? Right. And I can tell you that I don't make 6 figures today as an entrepreneur. Right. But I have a better lifestyle. Yeah. Right. And at the end of the day, I feel happier than if I was making the 6 figures. And I know, money is nice. You could do a lot of things with money. I'm not saying I don't want to make money. I'm just saying that
it's different.
It's different.
Right. And you really don't have, because, I'd say that you're an attorney and they make big money, right? The doctors. Yeah. But look how much time they spend. So when you really calculate the number of hours, you might be making $5 an hour compared to, what the partners are making.
I mean, when I think of how many hours I worked when I was earning 6 figures, I was probably making the same I'm making today.
Right, exactly.
Or less.
Right.
Exactly.
And not that I don't want to be above six figures. I do. I want to earn six figures. But everything takes time. When you're an entrepreneur, things don't happen as fast as things don't. And you're going to have good and bad years. We've been kind of like this.
You rock and roll, right? You roll.
See, that transitions into my next question that I'm going to ask you. It's not a bad one. So, are you currently certified as woman-owned or small business?
Yes. Thanks to you,
Thank
Gilbert.
you.
Yes, thanks to the classes that you've offered.
Yes.
I am.
Excellent.
I am, yes.
Because one of the things that we're doing here at the Business Zone is we're working with small businesses and women-owned businesses to get them involved with the state of California, which we're going to talk a little bit about in a little bit. They're one of our sponsors of the program.
Thank you for sponsoring.
Yes. Thank you, DGS.
Oh, yes, I know DGS.
Yes. So one of the things that they're looking for, they want to see more businesses certifying with their system. So one of the things that we can offer you is to help you to become certified with the state, because part of our plan part of our plan is to get at least 10 to 20 businesses certified and obtaining at least a $50,000 contract with the state of California. So you're an excellent candidate for that. So we'd like to get you involved in that.
Perfect. I would love to.
Yes, definitely. So after the show next week, we'll reach out to you and we'll walk you through the process and show you how to get certified with them, and then start looking at those contracts.
Sure, that'd be great.
Yeah,
definitely.
because that gets you to those six figures.
Yes,
Because that's what it is about the contractual.
Oh, yes.
And with all of the construction that's going on in our city, there's a lot of opportunities coming up for, we just like in a major growth, and this is the first time I think in over 50 years that Southern California has had this much growth on it, and all of those places are going to require cleaning crews.
They definitely do.
As a matter of fact, Metropolitan Water District on the 8th, I don't know if you got that email, but they have an opportunity in Fullerton on the 8th. And they're going to be looking at firms like yours to offer. They're saying that they're going to have contracts from $500 to $1 million.
Oh, nice.
So
I'll take the million.
So we want to get you involved. I'm going to send you that information.
Yes, thank
so
you,
you can
Gilbert.
check
I
it out.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's definitely a good thing. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So what would you say to someone that's just starting out, a young Latino, anybody actually starting out, and they're working, say, in a cleaning business, and how you made that transition from employee to employer? What would be some of your advice?
Save your money. Save your money, because the first year I was living off savings. I was living off my credit cards.
Wow.
I always say, I used to go to the gas station. Here I am driving a nice luxury car. And I go to the gas station. I would bless myself to see which card would work so I could put gas in there. And so I definitely be prepared financially if you're going to put yourself in a position where, even though we were making money, we started all these contracts. We weren't getting paid right away. Because most of our contracts, we don't get paid 30, 45 days later.
That's true.
And we've already had to pay employees twice.
You've incurred expenses and all of that.
Weekly. Vendors have been very great to us. At the beginning, we were able to work with them. I had one vendor said, I've known you for a long time. Don't worry. I'll give you any supplies you need. You don't have to even sign a credit application.
Great.
I was like,
that's great.
Wow.
I was like,
that is great.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Relationships.
Yep,
relationships.
That's
Keep them. But definitely be prepared financially and be prepared at least for 6 months to a year, because you don't know when you're really going to start making business. And it took us at least a whole year to finally have that cash flow.
Yeah.
Have that cash flow where payroll always came first, because I'll tell you one thing that I admire about my business partner, because we both think alike, is employees come first. Because at the end of the day, without the employees, you don't have a business.
Right.
That's right. They always have to get paid first. And in our industry, the pay rates it's labor.
Yeah.
And it's very low. It's minimum wage.
Yeah.
Right.
And, they need to get their check right away. So it's important to always take care of them first. And then it was us. That's why I always say I never knew when I was going to get paid. Never know when you're going to get paid. So you have to be prepared for that.
And
you have to be prepared with that credit card.
You got to bless yourself and say, okay,
Let's see if this one goes through. At least $20.
And the thing about it, again, is the state of California, it's illegal for you not to pay your employees. So you got to pay them. No matter where you got to get the money from, you got to pay.
I took over a contract that the employees had been waiting would wait 3 weeks to 4 weeks to get a paycheck.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, and then my business partner and I looked at each other like,
yeah, that's no good.
our employee doesn't get a check Friday over the weekend.
Yeah.
They're like, about my check, I can't do anything till Monday because
Exactly.
payroll, right?
Yeah.
And we were very surprised.
Wow.
And I was like, you can't do that.
That was illegal.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got away with it.
Well, a lot of times they get away with that because it is a low income type.
Yeah.
They're
And-
hourly wages, and they don't understand
Yeah.
the whole system,
Yes.
and they don't know and they're afraid of losing their job.
Yes.
So therefore they don't go complain to anybody. And I tell my students that all the time. If you haven't gotten paid, especially when I teach them payroll,
Yeah.
and I'm telling them what the laws are, like, I've worked in jobs where they didn't pay me, and then they made me feel like if I asked about it, they were going to fire me.
Right.
I was like, that was against the law.
Yeah,
You
that's
could have
against the
gone
law.
to EDD
Yep.
and filed a claim.
Yep.
But a lot of times, because they're hourly employed, they need their money. They don't want to make waves,
Right.
and they just wait it out.
Yeah.
And that's what happens is the lack of knowledge. is
Exactly.
usually what the
I mean,
problem is.
we've gone as far as like, okay, you know what? We'll deposit money into your account and then deduct it off your next check because their check didn't come through and sometimes they get lost in the mail and they need
Wow.
money for rent.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
and like I have a lady right now who actually didn't get her check today. She's like, I need to pay my rent. I'm already late.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, send me your account number.
Yeah.
We'll
Right.
figure something out
Exactly.
because like I get it, but I can't, we can't control the mail.
Right.
Most
Yeah.
of our employees do not have direct deposit, and
okay.
so it makes it a little difficult.
It's difficult.
But we have to learn to work with them
Yes.
because,
You need
they're
them.
still our employees and
Yes,
they need to be
you-
taken care of.
It's
Exactly.
amazing how the time runs by so quickly. I could talk to you all day. There's so much to talk about.
Well, we
but
just have to have her back.
I know we got to have you back.
I would
It's
love
now
to.
15 minutes past the hour.
Okay.
So, is there one thing or a few things you want to tell the audience out there about Veronica Corona and CM Cleaning Solutions that they didn't know before?
Oh, wow, I think you've already said everything. Read my bio, just everything. One of the things I like to leave everybody with is always just to believe in yourself and follow your passion.
Exactly.
Because when I started the business, I believed in myself because a customer believed in me first,
Yes,
and
yes.
that made me believe in myself. And if you're passionate about what you do, you will succeed.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
Is there a phone number you want to give the audience of CM Cleaning Solutions that
Sure.
they can call?
Sure, it is 310-880-2045.
It has been a pleasure, and it's good to see you again.
Again,
I
And we'll have to
know.
get together so we're not just either running through radio stations or panels.
Definitely. I
And the
would love
thing
that.
with Veronica is she's got that smile, that laugh that's so contagious. Even if you're having a bad day and she smiles, hi, how are you? You start smiling too. So
Oh,
that's
thank you,
good.
Gilbert. Thank
Keep
you
up
so
the good
much.
work.
Thank you. Thank you both for having me on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So
Welcome
we're
to
gonna
the
take
Business
our
Zone.
customary photo.
So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and take a break right now. But you're listening to the Business Zone with
Crystal.
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. Take a break.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay ready, you don't need to get ready. Register now at smallbizpro.net and begin saving money. Email info@smallbizpro.net or call 626-533-1186.
Each year, the state of California contracts for billions of dollars of goods and services. We as a state can and should leverage our spending power to achieve policy goals that help the people of California. One major policy goal we have is to create jobs and grow our state economy. Promoting the development of small businesses within California is a great way for us to do that, because California's small businesses are the engine of economic growth. 95% of companies in California are small businesses, and with the right opportunities, these small businesses can grow to become the next Apple, Netflix, or Tesla. So let's all do our part to promote small business development and grow our state economy. Together, we can really make.
Hello, meet Larry. Larry is a general contractor. Larry is very good at his craft, but Larry has a very tough time managing his paperwork because he is busy taking care of his clients' needs. Larry just cannot find his important business documents when needed. Larry is also being passed over for bid opportunities from prime contractors because he is perceived as not ready. He doesn't know where his business license, certifications, insurance, and other key corporate documents are located most of the time. Lucy owns an auto body and collision repair shop and has been using a business management and procurement assistance program called Small Biz Pro to keep her business organized, business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. Small Biz Pro is a 3-in-1 cloud-based business management, procurement, and market research assistance system designed to help businesses become business ready, contract ready, and bank loan ready. It also provides back-office operation solutions for small businesses. Lucy is able to stay ahead of her competitors because she uses Small Biz Pro to manage her business daily. Lucy just clicks on Small Biz Pro from her tablet, mobile phone, laptop, or any internet-accessible device for data retrieval, and she's got it. Lucy introduces Larry to Small Biz Pro, and now Larry is more organized and can now find all of his documents and new bid opportunities in seconds. Larry now saves $120 in labor costs for each missing or misplaced document. Just simply go to your web browser and log into smallbizpro.net and register today for a limited 30-day free trial offer. Services start as low as $1 per day. Let's put the competition out of business. Small Biz Pro. If you stay...
So we're back on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan, your small business paramedic. And our guest earlier was phenomenal, Veronica Corona. She's just amazing. We got to have her back. We're going to have her for a whole hour. Hour and a half.
Exactly. and I knew her. That's
I
really
know,
pretty
and
cool.
Crystal
I love it
knows
when
her
the world
too.
is so small.
That's what I'm talking
and you're
about.
operating in that same orbit. That's amazing.
That's why community relation is so important.
Oh, it's very, very important.
So who do we have in the studio now,
our
Crystal?
next guest, we just had a phenomenal show.
I
We
know.
had a great show this week. And in fact, a couple of people on our Facebook Live has said that what a great show. But we have SandyLu Guerrero. She is a transformational business and life coach, born and raised in Boyle Heights, California, a graduate of the School of Hard Knocks. SandyLu uses her experience and training to support people in creating the life that they desire by coaching her clients through workshops that she facilitates and creates. Couples coaching and one-on-one coaching. She provides her clients with the tools they need to transform their relationships, self-confidence, finance, business, health, and overall lifestyle. SandyLu has also facilitated as a moderator and motivational speaker for various nonprofits and companies. She's also the author of a book called Lead with Success, where she shares openly her life experiences, lessons, and efforts to empower people in life beyond their circumstances and reach for their goals. Welcome, Sandy. SandyLu, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so
Welcome
excited
to the
finally
Business Zone.
make it. Gilbert,
I know.
Crystal, we've been
We've been planning this for a while now.
Yes, I was looking at our emails back and forth, and I was like, "Oh, he reached out to me in July."
Yes.
So finally.
Yes. Well, I'm glad
all timing.
Yes.
that your schedule could accommodate us, and we're happy to have you. So those were words. So tell us a little bit more. How did you? I know how I got to be a coach, but how did you become a coach?
Wow, it was really transforming my own life. It started with me transforming my own life. I had experienced a lot of horrible things,
Okay.
Made really bad decisions as well, and got to the point where I hit rock bottom, where I literally was suicidal. I was in anxiety. I mean, it was a really bad. I was in a really bad emotional and mental place, and I took a workshop. A transformational workshop where there was coaches that volunteered and a trainer that, an amazing, phenomenal trainer woman, by the way. And in this training, within a few days, I felt like I had,
Revived.
Literally, like I felt like I was smiling so much my cheeks hurt.
That's great.
I mean, that's
That
pretty
is great.
extreme, right?
Yes.
But I went from crawling in to like, I can't stop smiling, my cheeks hurt.
That's
that
good.
I was like, oh my gosh, I love this work and I
Right.
want to do this. I want to be a part of that change.
So that was that aha moment.
Yes, because I grew, my mom was an alcoholic. So she was depressed.
Yeah.
My father was a person who was very loving and loved life, but
Yeah.
he carried a lot of pain. So he struggled with depression,
Right.
and my mom died depressed. My father did too. So so when I hit 36 years old, and here I am, rock bottom, and I'm like following the cycle. And now I take a training that makes me look at things in an entirely different
That's
way
good.
that really transform my interpretations,
Yeah.
my thoughts, my actions, my feelings, my you name it.
Yeah.
And then I see a bunch of people's lives transform right before my eyes.
Right.
Within days, I'm like, I want to be a part
That's
of it.
great.
So I got really involved in the trainings. I took every training I could within this company, and then I started volunteering. And then I took trainings to learn the distinctions of a trainer, a transformational trainer, coach,
Right.
leadership. Now leading teams, guiding teams, and then eventually coaching all the coaches, prepping them for the trainings. And I was like, I loved it so much. I worked in property management and real estate, and I decided I'm going to start coaching people. So it started like a part-time thing.
Wow.
It started like something I did after work. So the idea of it wasn't in a business initially. It was more like, I love doing it. I want to do this. I can do this after work.
Right.
And I started doing it, and I started coaching from home. And that's kind of how I started. Like it started with my own transformation and knowing that we don't have to suffer. We don't have to live in misery. That we could, if we make different choices,
Right.
what those choices can do for our life, and how we have that power to choose every single moment. So if you watch all my social media and everything I do, I'm always talking about choice, the power of choice. That's why I call my company Life's Choice Coaching.
Okay.
And the thing is, there's so many resources out there that can help us. But some of us, we don't know that. We don't know the resources are there. So having someone like yourself who have been there and you understand that, you can share that with the population.
And I think with us, both in the African American community and in the Latino community, going and talking to someone about your emotional state is not something that our culture has embraced, right?
Right.
You keep all that stuff at home and within yourself, and people, unless you walk in a person's shoes and understand what challenges that we have just growing up, depending on where you come from, there are a lot of post-traumatic syndromes that you have that has passed down from our parents because of the struggles that they've had. And a lot of times,
or even within our own
ethnicities within our own ethnicity, and how they and the culture, because the culture has a certain I guess mantra of how you're supposed to live your life.
Right.
And if it doesn't fit your life, then you're struggling against that as well. So I think it's a great thing. So let me ask this question, since I was leading up to that. How is that embraced in your culture or with the people that you are coaching? Is there pushback?
There isn't pushback. I think that it's starting to be embraced.
Okay.
I think people are what's happening that with social media, it's allowed people to be introduced to things that they probably would have never thought of.
Okay.
And it also has been it also has opened people to the possibilities, right? So I have a Facebook Live show that I have every.
I was going to talk
Tuesday.
about that right now.
Transform Your Life with SandyLu and Friends.
Okay.
And the idea behind it was like, originally it was another thing. I didn't plan it to become a show.
Right.
It became,
became a
and
show.
we're going on a year. We're going to be
fantastic.
1 year anniversary
Congratulations.
next year. But it was to bring content that was going to transform people's lives, because we can transform our life by one sentence, one action, one experience,
Even one word.
one word, right? So bringing content to people's households all over the world, where they have an opportunity to view things in a different way, in a different perspective, and also the opportunity to hear the stories of my guests and see how they relate, and they're not alone in their journey, and that anything and everything is possible, and giving them that that something they could relate to that makes them feel like, wait a minute, if they can do it and they're doing it and they did it, I can do it too.
Right, exactly.
You know, and so in there we share a lot of personal stuff, and I as for what I do, I share a lot of personal stuff. In coaching in the Latino community, what I'm seeing a lot though, where people are more willing to pay or hire, is in the real estate and mortgage industry. It's because I think that when the real estate market crashed, they realized that there was tools that they did not have, and they were not being as rigorous and
They weren't
as
prepared.
the Anglo, the white community, right? So they learned. So they learned the importance of investing in real estate and mortgage. So I do work with, a lot of my clients are in the real estate and mortgage industry. Now, I would love to have a lot more because there's a gap. I'm a transformational business and life coach, and a lot of companies are investing on their agents, right? But they're investing on how to farm. They're investing how to use social media. They're investing on all the things that are definitely useful. But what's missing is the real mindset, not just the story. Like, oh, you got to just be motivated and believe in yourself.
It's more than that.
There's more behind that. So, the advantage when you work with me is that, one, I have the background. And the other is that I'm going to see what's behind what's really holding you back. So now when we could work through that, now you can utilize the tools that are going to support you moving forward. So sometimes you're giving the tools, but you don't know how, like the drive that's going to take you to believe that you can actually use them and they're going to work for you.
That's good.
Exactly. In fact, I mean, it's interesting you said that about the real estate, because when the crash happened, and my sister is in the real estate business and mortgage business, and I have a lot of friends. In fact, I lost about 65% of my business because most of my clients were mortgage brokers and real estate agents, and then it kind of had a trickle down effect for some of my other business relationships. But one of the things that I encountered with a lot of them were that they took that personal. It was like the crash took place and it was my fault. No, it wasn't your fault. That was a manufactured, with the interest rates and the whole bit. And a lot of them never could get back into the industry because they took it. It was a direct affront as to who they were. And I guess maybe because, they were making good money, because at that time they were rolling. I mean, and then all of a sudden they just crashed, nothing. And you really couldn't get back into the business. I mean, it took about 3 or 4 years to actually be able to get to a position where you could start making some money. And now the real estate industry is different because there's so many people and very small farms of property to sell. And so now there's a lot of backbiting, all kinds of stuff going on in that industry. But did you see that when it was time for them to turn themselves around and get back on their feet?
The thing is that when the crash happened, I wasn't coaching yet. So I was in it. But the only difference was that when I was married at the time, so I had a steady income, right? So that helped. But the other thing is that that's when I had got into property management, and I was managing and supervising properties, and I was focusing more on that at that time. So I definitely felt the crash because I had properties as well, and it was not cool. Not cool. But when you don't know what you don't know, you do the best you can with what you have, right? But now I bring this back to social media. I mean, look at the opportunity that we have here to reach a lot of people that they can apply these things in their life.
This is amazing.
In so many ways, right? And so it's up to us to make the choice to use the resources available to us. Sometimes people cannot afford a coach, right? Or to have that direct one-on-one coach. But there are programs out there. In fact, I'm working on a program right now. It's a 6-week video coaching program. So this gives people the opportunity. It's going to be definitely not my one-on-one price, right? But it gives them the opportunity to have some tools that will transform their life and simple things. You would be surprised of how simple things that we choose differently, I mean, can completely alter the course of our life. So I simplify what I do. But we have this opportunity through social media to watch videos. Before I got here, I was getting ready, and I was watching a Gary V interview. I was not watching, but I was saying I'm listening to all these interviews of business people, right? Entrepreneurs, people that are out there motivating, inspiring people. I'm feeding my brain positive things. They're going to give me ideas. I mean, for me, even a movie is not just a movie. I think of their mindset. I think of their culture. I think of where they're coming from. What would have them do what they do, and blah blah blah. So as a coach that coaches people in business, I can take it so much further, because sometimes we have all the tools, but we don't have that thing inside. We're not dealing with what's inside the story we made up about how someone kept telling us we were dumb and that we weren't capable, and how can we get past that? How can we create a new story? How can we transform that experience and create an entirely new story?
And which is important, so it sounds like, because as a coach, I kind of didn't fall into coaching, but I was teaching. I'm an educator and trainer, and so. But what I found is that when I'm training, or even when I'm training my clients in bookkeeping, I'm also training them in life stuff as well. And when I'm doing the class at Mount SAC, a lot of these young people, young adults, and they have children at home. Majority of them are Hispanic, Latino and Latinos, and their self-esteem is very low, and so to get them to receive what I'm delivering, I have to know. We start having conversations about their personal lives in that 12 weeks that we're together. So by the time they've evolved, we've talked about financial planning, we've talked about financial literacy, because if you're going to change your job and create a career and increase the income in your household, now we need to know how to manage money, right? We need to how to understand it. So not just from working, so when you get paid, how do you keep building on this newfound opportunity that you have? And that's more rewarding, I think, than just teaching the class itself. Because when they walk away, they're like, wow. There was a young lady that gave a speech. You hadn't got there yet. But Gloria, when I first met her, she was kind of reserved and second guessing herself, and she did such a phenomenal job as one of our speakers. She's like, I'm no longer just a mommy. I can leave my kids for more than 10 minutes and go to the store. I can be gone for hours and they are fine. And now I'm ready to go on with my life and to find my job. And she did such a good job. I even suggested to her, you really should look at Toastmasters, because you could create a career out of speaking. That's how good she was.
Now, SandyLu participated in our Business Management Academy for the National Latina Business Women Association also. How was that for you, and do you see yourself participating in something else like that?
Well, actually, I'm kind of bummed that I'm going to miss the series this time, because my show comes on at the same time. I was talking to my friend, because I'm on the board. I'm actually in the National Latina board. I'm in an LBWA board, right? But I was like, why did you guys do Tuesday? That's the day of my show, because I was really looking forward to it. It's super. It opened my eyes to a whole other possibility, and I think that's the advantage of NLBWA's programs, that it really opens you up to other possibilities that you didn't know. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know, but when you put yourself in a position to be exposed to things and amazing people like you guys, what you guys are doing is amazing.
Thank you.
It's transformation. It looks different than what I'm doing, but it's really changing people's lives.
It is, because many business owners out there, they're listening, they're tuning in, and they're hearing you, they're hearing us, and they're going, wow, I thought about that, but I didn't know what to do. So now they're getting some solutions out of this. So this is a great platform.
Yes,
It's
definitely. And
excellent.
I'm actually getting all my paperwork and everything together to
Good.
get certified as well.
Good,
So
good.
it's a great, if you're not certified
Yes.
and you want some great tools and someone that's really knowledgeable, you definitely got to go with
Yes.
Gilbert here.
Yes.
He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. And also we've had members from the NLBWA who have been doing really great after they got certified.
Exactly.
Big contracts.
Like Teresa.
Like Teresa,
Martinez.
yes, Teresa and Sheena and Christina. I
Yes.
mean, there's various people, and
They're
so
doing phenomenal.
they're great. They're great people. You know,
Yes.
you got to invite them so they can come and talk about it.
I also want to send you that invitation to Metropolitan Water District's event on the 8th. I want you to go also because you could probably get an opportunity there as a motivational speaker, as a coach. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to send it to you so you
Okay,
can
yeah,
check it out.
please.
And a lot of corporations, it used to be that was big that corporations would bring in, especially for their retreats. And I think they're back at that place where they're bringing in business and life coaches that help motivate their employees.
Yeah.
The real estate business, that is part of what they do. That's part of their training because when you talk about it, it's like Veronica just talked about how much you really make an hour when you work those contracts.
Yeah.
Well, usually in real estate, it takes you about 3 months to close a deal. And so in the meantime, and if you're registered with an agency or brokerage, you really can't have another job outside because they got all this training and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're operating on fumes for a while there, unless you have been in the business and you have 2 or 3, 4 or 5 things, but you have to pace them. You know, you have to kind of stair step them so they start closing, not all at the same time, but in between time.
Well, yeah, you got to definitely don't stop. I think what happens, and I used to do this as an agent as well. You know, like, hey, I have a few deals in the pipeline. They're in escrow, they're closing, and then what happens? Sometimes what happens in the last minute, something goes really wrong.
Right.
And
Most
now,
times.
but that's the nature of the beast, right? Of that industry in particular. Mine is a little, now what I do now is a little different, but it's the same thing. Like you can have the contract signed, but are they going to follow through in the financial commitment?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's what we go through as entrepreneurs and coaches and consultants. Things just take a U-turn or a 180-degree turn, and we got to adapt.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, Veronica said this plenty of times, and it's so true. Relationships. We got to be willing to give, and we got to be willing to support and to motivate and empower, regardless of whether you're getting money or anything in return.
Yes.
I'm always about, like, can I leave the place better than I left it? Can I leave
Good.
this person better
That's a
than when
good
I met
approach.
them? Right?
I
How
like
can
that.
so I'm always connecting people to resources.
Yes.
I'm always meeting people. If I see an opportunity I think, you know what, this would be a good opportunity for this person. I always listen to what people are saying. I'm thinking, who can I connect them with?
Right. That's how I
You know what I
do
mean?
things,
Like, it's not like, what can I get? It's like, who can I connect them with? How can I support them in what they're doing? And I'm doing that. And so sometimes that deal might, that transaction or that, might fall through the cracks, but then the one that you didn't even think about because it was like months ago or even a year or years ago, random calls you, and now you have they hired you for a 3-month coaching program or a 6-month coaching program where they want you to speak at their business or whatever. So it's really, we got to just keep moving.
That's
planting those seeds.
And
And
planting
it's
those seeds.
always, because you never know when that harvest is ready to harvest that plant, that crop. And I think that's what we learn as entrepreneurs, because you can't let there be lulls. You have to always be working on and have amazing ambassadors out there speaking on your behalf, because that's a lot of times where your business comes from.
That is
from
key.
People that already know
That
you.
is key.
So those relationships are really, really important. So when I think I read in there, you said couples, you do life coaching in addition. So when you say couples,
Well, sometimes I work with couples. I actually work with couples that are struggling and they want to make their relationship work. Most of the time, they've already gone through therapy, counseling. It hasn't worked for them.
Right.
And so they'll work with me. I just have a different approach to coaching. And so some of the work I do is therapeutic and very profound and deep. And, I mean, really deep, like working with people that have been abused and things like that. So my approach is very different. And I've gone through so much personally in my life that now that I've transformed how I look at it, I can help people in another way.
Okay.
And so I utilize my personal experience, the years of training and hands-on training with people in life, with life life stuff, right? And now I support, I can understand people. I've been married and divorced. Sometimes people say, oh, you don't want to take advice from a person who's been divorced, blah, blah, blah. But what better person than the person that learned, but you got to have learned, okay? Because, I've gone, I'm single, right? You're in the dating world.
Yeah.
And you hear people saying, I'll date someone. They're like, oh, it was her, right? Yeah. But they never take responsibility for the fact that they were part of why it didn't work, right? So in my journey, when I started, actually had been separated for 3 weeks from a almost 10-year marriage.
Oh, wow.
So it was crazy because it was like light years away. Like it felt like years had passed by after I had done the training. Right? But one of the things that I really learned was how I was responsible for that relationship not working.
Right.
Well, you always have to go back and do a reflection on. And first of all, there was years ago, one of my first business was a dating service, and so we had a scenario that I said that a relationship is like a dance, right? It takes two people to dance a waltz, or a couple's dance, and it's a give and take, right? And there has to be leading and following and leading and following, and so when you come off beat, then the dance is going to go awry. And so one of the things that we were always talking about is not just one, because if I misstep, then it's going to throw you off as well. And then you misstep, you're going to throw me off.
Be out of sync.
And you'll be out of sync. Yeah. And so that's the yin and yang of a relationship, right? So it's not any one person responsible for anything. It's two parties in a relationship. And so that was what we did, was the coaching part of getting you ready to be mentally in a relationship.
Yeah, people are out there in the dating world. You're thinking, oh my gosh, like you do not belong in the dating world.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And then they don't realize they're the common denominator, why they keep attracting the same thing, or why the same things keep happening. And hey, been there, done that as well. Guilty, but either we learn or we're victims.
That's you're victim.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. So either I'm going to learn about any experience, not necessarily dating, but anything. Either I'm going to learn from it or I'm going to be the victim of it. Right. And there's no power in that. There's no power. And then moving forward is just you creating more chaos and attracting more chaos.
Wow.
So in relationships with a coaching, in relationships that are not working, it's usually because everybody's looking at what I'm getting, what I want, what I need. And there's the missing link. Like, what do I want to create? What do I want to create in this relationship? What is it that will make both of us happy? And how am I responsible for why it's not working?
Yeah, because you got to be relationship ready, right?
Exactly, because these people are in relationships or they're already married, right? And now, I acknowledge them because they, it's not comfortable. I really feel honored that people trust me with their very personal life. I mean, we talk about everything, including like sex. I don't leave things off. It wouldn't serve me to try to be very proper. And nice in the process, because being nice for me means being honest, being an interruption, and also motivating and empowering you.
Right.
But I see, working with couples. I mean, I love working with couples, especially because once they get rid of all the most of the time it's dumb stuff. Ego. It's the ego.
Right.
I want to be right and I want to win, and that's it. And then, they thrive. After that, they get their stuff out of the way, the dumb stuff out of the way, and they thrive as a couple. And if they're doing business together, and they're taking their business on in a whole entire level, because the energy is not on what they don't want anymore. Now it's like on being happy of what they have and working towards what more they want.
That's fantastic.
And that's in business and everything. Like we just got to be very clear.
And sometimes you need that third party to bounce stuff off of, right? Because like you said, you got your dumb stuff and you stay stuck in that dumb stuff, and somebody else comes along like, does that really make sense? And you have to stop in your tracks, right? And go like, well, maybe it doesn't make sense. What would make more sense? What would be better? How should I be redirecting this? But sometimes you need that third party, impartial person to help you open up your eyes to see the broader picture.
Yeah, we need someone that's objective, that can see outside. Like when I work with business clients, I mean, I ran multi-million-dollar properties, where I'm doing all the payroll, accounting, HR, training, hiring, firing. So with all that background and what I know, learn as a coach as well, I mean, there's so much that people, like, sometimes, you know, because I'm fairly new, like, I actually went full time like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I just had my 2-year anniversary last year where I went, like, I quit my job and I was like, I'm done. And I didn't realize this was what I was just going to take it full on. But just one day I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Right. But sometimes people think, oh, well, you don't have the money. How are you going to tell me how to make it? Like you don't have this, or how you going to, you know, and we minimize the value that people could bring into our life because we think it's supposed to look a certain way. And I've worked with people that are millionaires that don't, you know, that are not knowledgeable about certain things, or that I can say, hey, what about if you looked at it this way? Or what if you did it this way? Or, you know, and we got to be open to what people have to offer.
And I think people have to recognize money doesn't make you smarter.
Oh, no, it sure doesn't.
It's the hard knocks. It's like you said, you went through the school of hard knocks that makes you smarter because you're learning, hopefully you're learning from the experiences you've acquired, and you've gotten valuable lessons from that as how not to. And then you have to make your choices, right? But if you gave me millions and millions of dollars, I don't have to really make any choices because really I got the money to do. And you can kind of see that in today's world. You have people that are running our country who actually were born with silver spoons, never worked a day in their lives, hard work, never had any challenges whatsoever. And then they're making decisions that are implicating people who have life's challenges.
That could be totally detrimental to, you know, like to society in such a big way. Yeah.
Right, because they've never experienced any of that. You have to say, it's like, have they never, ever gone into, I mean, they don't even know the price of milk, right? and so how can you tell me what I need if you don't even know the price of milk or bread? And those are real life issues. How am I going to feed my child if I can't afford the milk, or if I can't afford the bread or food where they've never been without?
Yeah.
I mean, if you've never lived in a space of lack and what you've had to do to survive in a place of lack, then it's very hard for you to tell me how to live like that. Right?
It's true. And the thing is that we all have something to learn from each other. The wealthy, how do you get wealthy?
Right.
You know, like they're always looking to how to get wealthier. So can we learn something from them? Can they learn something from us by saying, you know, hey, you know what? How you started from scratch. Right. I grew up poor. I grew up in Boyle Heights. So we had a trailer that we slept in, 6 of us, like the kind that you pull.
Right.
And then to use the restroom or shower, we had to go to the back of a house. So we literally had to go outside to go and shower out of the house. So you tell me about being poor, I can tell you about being poor.
Right, exactly. See, and they don't have that same. I used to tell my mom, it's like, Mom, you take $1 and you squeeze it so hard and manage to make it spread to take care of your 4 children, your 3 children. How do you do that? Or my girlfriend, who's her parents, they were married for about 50 years, and I used to say to her mom, and they had some choices because mom, when they moved from Cuba, Dad had to stay there because of the military requirements, and he stayed there because of his son, and brought the mom, and the 3 kids here, and they had to survive, and their marriage had to survive in that time, and that's very stressful. So everybody's life is going through different changes and metamorphosing into different things, and you learn survival skills out of that.
You do either that or you drown, right?
Oh, you drown.
It's really a matter of choice.
Yeah,
like, it's a matter of choice. You know, some people choose to live in the street. Some choose not to. Right. Some people could say they're homeless because they live with their family member, and some people could say I live with my family member.
Yeah. Right,
Which
exactly.
one is going to feel better?
Right, exactly.
Right? We get to choose how we want to do things, how we want to interpret. You know, interpretation is powerful. We are as powerful as our interpretations.
Exactly, and perceptions, right?
Yeah, I had one of my mentors. I remember her in a training saying that one time, and it just stuck with me because I realized how powerful that statement was. We are as powerful as our interpretations.
Exactly.
Because we can look at one thing, I like to listen to what people say. There'll be something happening over there, and I'll listen to what everybody's saying around me, and I'll look, and it tells me a lot about how they look at the world, how they function, and what it's like to be in relationship with them, and what's getting in the way of what's bigger for them. You know?
Now, you were just saying you were in the dating world. We got a few more minutes, and I can kind of relate, because you have certain skills that you know how to listen to a person, right? So when you go out on a date for the first time, and I tend to just let them talk, and you learn so much without even having to ask a question, and it's kind of detrimental because a lot of relationships go to the wayside, right?
Yeah, it doesn't go past date one.
Right, exactly. Because you heard everything you needed to hear, all of the red flags, all the trigger points. Like, nah, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it comes down to everything. Really, we got to know what do we want? You know, what's important to us? What's our purpose? So that whether it's dating or your business, like knowing those things are so important. That way, you know, there's going to be sometimes that give and take, right? There's sometimes you're going to sacrifice. You want to call it sacrifice.
Right.
I don't like that word too much. I think it has negative energy.
Yeah.
But you know, in the real world vocabulary, sacrifice a little bit to get more. You know, are we willing to be comfortable being uncomfortable?
And I think it's like a compromise.
Entrepreneurship is no joke.
No, it's
not. You know,
not.
like either it's sink or swim.
You're either in or you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not for the weak.
It is not. But this is what I'm going to say. It's so important to do what you love.
Yes.
That you do what you love, because when entrepreneurship, business, it's a tough world out there, but you can look at it like tough all the time, or you can look at like, I love it. Like I'm learning along the way. Like I'm struggling.
I'm going to jump
tough,
in.
But I love it, because at least if I'm going to be struggling, or if I'm going to be working 1,000,000 hours, it's for what I love.
Right,
and every day that I take action, every day that I don't give up, I'm one day closer to my goal. And really focusing on what we love, because I think a lot of people go into business thinking, oh, you know, like the choice. Do I go to college?
It's going to be a walk in the park.
Do I go to college or do I not go to college? You know, either way, you got to educate yourself. So even if you decide not to go to college, you got to educate yourself in what you're doing.
You have to.
There's so many different things that you got to learn.
And you have to excel in what you do, so that's how you make money.
Yeah, and now you're on your own. You know, you know, one is you hire a coach. You got to hiring a coach will save you so much money in the long run. Yes, it's an investment and you got to pay, but it'll save you so much more money in the long run.
Yes.
Because you'll get to certain points faster, because when we try to do it on our own, it's tough.
Yeah.
And you want to surround yourself with like-minded people, people that understand what you're up to, because our families love us, but they're not entrepreneurs, and they're not going to understand why we're willing to live at bare minimum or nothing, or you know, like or you know, or work 1,000,000 hours, or do certain things that don't make any sense and don't bring you money. You know, they don't see it right away.
And those are the things that we have to teach our children, because those are very valuable lessons that you learn very early on in life. That can really shape or redirect your life and prevent you from making some really detrimental mistakes, right? You're going to make some mistakes, but there's no need of repeating the same mistakes that somebody else has made.
Yeah, and you know, the tough part sometimes with your own family is like they don't listen, you know, because they're like, oh, but you're not there. I'm like, I'm telling you, because if I would have known that then, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And now I know where I'm at, and now I know where I'm going to go. But, you know, it's choice, right? Either we're going to make our life more complicated or difficult, or we're going to take advantage of those who have learned the hard way and have experienced things and are out there making it happen.
Exactly. Wow, that was a quick.
I know.
Wow. I just love it when it's a good flow and just information that's being disseminated, and that's really what the Business Zone is about. Is I found in our community that we don't have what we should have because of the lack of information or the lack of knowledge, that we can make better decisions for our lives, for our businesses, for our families. And I would imagine that's just people in general, right? So the more information you have, the better you better decisions you make in life, and just being informed and helping you think. Because that's one of the real jobs, I think, as a coach is, you know, planting a seed. So then that that person can build on that and really have planted a seed to go, maybe she's right. Or maybe I should think that it wasn't just his fault. It was maybe both of our faults. And how can I be better in my next relationship based upon the experiences that I had in this relationship? And I think that and business as well, especially for those who have had businesses and they failed. Was it really a failure, or was it a learning experience that now you can build on for your next experience, for your next business?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the things I don't use the word failure. Because there's so much negative energy. But now if I could look at, okay, let me see, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Like was it Thomas Edison? I learned 1,000 ways of how not to, how not to be, do a light bulb. Well, it's just the same mentality. If we choose to not look at it as like a failure, we just learned how not to do it.
Yeah.
And in between all that, you also learn some things. They're going to teach you how to do it. One of the things I want to definitely make sure I say, because this is in relationship or in business, your foundation has to be solid. Your foundation, meaning you, the person.
Right.
Knowing who you are, what you want, and what's important to you is key to success in relationships and key to success in business. You got to be so grounded in who you are that when the storms hit and life happens, you're still back. You know who you are. And that's why it's so important to get the support. Get the support. We can't do it on our. If I didn't go invest in transformational trainings myself, I don't know where I would have been, or I would have literally hung myself, because that's where I was. But I didn't want to live that way. I made a choice, and that investment was an interesting story itself. Getting the money and all that at that time was an very crazy story as well. But I invested in myself because, and so a lot of things have happened in my life. My dad passed away the year after I started the trainings, and
sorry to hear
it was
that.
And his birthday is this Sunday, and I remember. Just saying,
I'm gonna have to get a reminder.
I'm gonna go celebrate his birthday this evening. But anyway, my foundation is so solid, and my relationship with my dad was amazing all my life. So I was very fortunate.
That's good.
But my foundation is so solid that even though entrepreneurship has been a crazy roller coaster, I've loved every single bit of it. And it hasn't had me question my own self. My own self-worth, my own self-love, my vision, my purpose. It just keeps expanding, if anything.
That's fantastic.
It just leads me to bigger and better things. And so my goal is to transform people while I'm sleeping. So that's why I'm creating that program. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, we're certainly going to have to invite you back so you can come back and spend an hour or more with us.
It has been a pleasure, and I just, from a coaching standpoint, it's really nice to meet someone that understands why we, it really is a gift. It's a blessing that God has given us to be able to reach out to other people to help them transform others into reaching their greatest and their best, and living a life of excellence. And so it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and we definitely have to have you back, and I'd love to have you when I do the workshop when we do the 3-week training with the kids. Have you come out and talk to some of our children, because they're at the ages are between the 12 and 17, and we're teaching them to be entrepreneurs, but there's more to it than just that.
Definitely. I'd definitely like to join you. I have done some speaking with Youth Business Alliance at the high schools. Love it. So definitely. And I think you mentioned you do something with women, but I do women's revival groups, which is a coaching program for women as well.
Yeah, we'll have you come out, and then we do a conference, and then we'll invite you out as well, because again, I think it's the year of the woman and the time of the woman, and we can support each other. And I personally think, I'll leave us on this note, I personally think that this world is going to change because of us, because we have that nurturing, and it's time that we step up and help reshape our world for our children.
Yes, well, I have a personal crusade to help you guys achieve that. So. With that being said,
so we have come to the end of another wonderful show, and we want to invite you guys back next Friday from 3 to 5 to the Business Zone. So tune in. We have a couple of more fantastic women. Yes. All this month, we're going to be interviewing phenomenal women making phenomenal changes in our community.
Yeah, next week we're going to have Yesenia Flores and Jeanette Flores from HRY Personal Services. So they're going to be here talking about their Latinas as well. They're going to be talking about their experience as Latina entrepreneurs and how it works. So you're on the Business Zone with
Crystal
and Gilbert Buchanan. You're a small business paramedic. We're out.
As As a small biz pro, so we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow, using procurement, program, and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.